Good morning, folks. It's a beautiful, sunshiny morning out here in our little farm. Getting hungry for breakfast and got a hankering for my grandma's chocolate gravy. And by grandma, I mean both grandmas. Both grandmas used to make chocolate gravy. And I know some of you may think it sounds kind of weird to have chocolate gravy in the morning, but that was the thing, born of poverty. And both of my families were pretty much poverty-stricken just a generation ago. If you've ever seen that movie, The Grapes of Wrath, that was pretty much my mom's side of the family. You could interject them into that storyline, and it was exactly how it went down. And then my dad's side of the family, they had 13 kids. It was pretty poor times, pretty slim pickings, and they lived by the skin of their teeth most of the time. So, grandmas always want to do something special for the kids and stuff that doesn't take a lot of money and stuff that they already have. So chocolate gravy was born out of one of those things, just to do something special for the kids now and then, to take their mind off of not having everything in the world like kids nowadays do. So I've been craving this lately, so I thought it'd be a good time to make it. So here we go. Remember that ratio we did for gravy? We did a 1/4 cup of butter, 1/4 cup of flour. Same thing. We're going to stir this up. I do this in a saucepan. You don't really need to do it in a skillet. I like the saucepan because it keeps everything a little more together. So we got that cooked. We're going to add our 2 cups of milk right into there. Get that stirred up. I love these little flat whisks for doing this. I don't use them in my skillets because they're non-stick, but in a saucepan I can use these, and that's probably why I use saucepans. So for this recipe, we really don't need to get this to boiling before we add the rest of the stuff. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of cocoa, and I have an 1/8 cup measuring cup, so it works pretty handy for that. And we're going to add a pinch of sugar, or excuse me, pinch of salt. And then we're going to add a 1/4 cup of sugar as well, because it needs a little sweetness, because it is chocolate gravy, right? Let me take this out of there so I can scoop that. So there's a 1/2 cup of that. And we'll stir this together, and it'll start coming together. But it's really not going to look like it's supposed to look until this is all incorporated and it starts to boiling and the chocolate melts. So we'll come back when that happens. I won't make you suffer through all that. And it sounds like my biscuits are done. Alright, that come to bubbling. And if you remember, like we said in the gravy video, once it's bubbling, that's as thick as it's going to get. Not going to get any thicker unless you cook a bunch of the liquid out of it. So we're going to remove that from the heat. And I believe our biscuits are done. They needed just a couple more minutes, so they should be done. Yes, they are. Biscuits for one. So we're going to take some of the bacon grease from cooking our bacon earlier, and we're going to put that right over the top of those biscuits. Keeps them from being too dry on the top. You can do that with butter if you want, but I got a little bit of bacon grease laying around. That's what we use. I went for a drive with my cousin yesterday, and he took me by a butcher shop. Been around since 1892. Really neat butcher shop, and they had some of their home cured bacon. Can't wait to try that. Alright, let's put this thing together. I always like putting a pat of butter on my biscuits before I put my gravy on. And this biscuit recipe, if you're interested in this biscuits for 2, it's a pretty interesting little recipe. I got it from my mom this morning. it goes together pretty quick, just like, you know, your grandma used to mix things together. There was nothing really measured. Use one palm full of flour, like a heaping palm full of flour. Use a 4-finger pinch of baking powder, a 3-finger pinch of salt, a 2-finger pinch of sugar, and 1 knuckles worth of shortening butter or lard, whatever you're using. And then you stir in just enough milk or buttermilk just to get it to come together. Not anymore. And then just do a couple little hand-formed biscuits out of it, and it'll come out real nice. Now looky that. That look good or what? We're going to give that a little taste. Wow, that takes you back in the day there. Makes me remember sitting at my grandma's table. She'd make this for us special on the weekends. That's something else. You're probably wondering what that's for. A little chocolate dipped bacon. So do this for your kids or your grandkids. They're going to love it. They're not going to be able to believe they're going to be eating chocolate for breakfast. But it's good stuff. Love you, Grandma. Think of you every time I eat this stuff. So give it a shot. Hope you stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you the next go round.